Okay, greetings everyone. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. I'm going to talk to you today about obstructing justice. And obstructing justice is what they try to pull on the municipal level or the county level or the state level as interference with official acts. That is not the same thing. So we're going to go over that in the pretext of our communications and the devices that we use for it and how that is obstructed. So before we get started, I want to remind everybody to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. There is a PayPal button link pinned at the top, so anybody that wants to share some love can do that. Always appreciated. 10, 15, 20 bucks. Every little bit helps. If you're subscribed to the Heckle Bus and not El Perro, go over to El Perro and subscribe over there. And likewise, if you're on El Perro, go over to Heckle Bus and make sure you subscribe over there. That way, if one of our channels gets struck, we can still bring this information. Okay, so let's start talking about obstruction of justice in regards to the biblical scripture that talks about let your yea be your yea and your nay be your nay. So anytime anybody makes any kind of communication to you about it in the form of an accusation, you have a right to communicate to your upline, to your counsel. You have a right to counsel is the way they express it. This is Matthew 18, verses 15 through 20 in an administrative process. And what happens is most of the time these accusations that people make are in a public venue, and that's the primary initial violation of process that's due. Even when you get on the side of the road, the first thing out of your mouth is, "I want to seek my counsel. I have a right to my counsel." I'm not going to answer any of your questions. They're deceptive and interrogatory, and I'm not going to deal with it. You came to me in a public venue instead of going through the proper diplomatic channels of notice and serving me properly, period. They cannot serve you on the side of the road. They used a postal road, which is the server of process known as the United States Postal Service, who is the registered agent already for process of service. That's their job. J-O-B. Okay? So let's think about this. And I'm going to, I believe let me see. Maybe I didn't drop the stream link. Let me drop the stream link, guys. My apologies. My sincere apologies. And another reminder, hit that like, share, and subscribe button real quick. And there's the stream link for anybody that wants to come up and join the panel. And we're going to get into it. And these links are all shared in the details section down below in the videos. So we're going to start out with the first one, which is obstruction of justice, 18 U.S. Code, Chapter 73. And we're looking at a whole list of things, right? First thing they start out is assault on process server. Resistance to extradition agent. Why would they talk about resistance to extradition agent in the obstruction of process or obstruction of justice and start out with process server? Because that's the process due. You have to have a service of process. Service. So the process they're dealing with is actually a service. Did you pay for that service? Are you part of that service? Are you an employee or an employer of that service? Are you an agent of that service? Are you an officer of that service? Is it a military service? Resistance to extradition agent is extradition telling you that it's foreign. They're taking you from one place to a foreign place. So they're dealing in foreign issues. It's always going to be foreign. Even the second you are born of your mother, you are now foreign of your mother. You are foreign of your father once he plants that seed in you, in your mother. So your next of kin is your mother. And that scripture says, in earth as it is in heaven. Because this is the womb that we are in as we grow to ascend to become what we're meant to be. Influencing or injuring officer or juror generally. Juror. That says to a journal. If you're going to import words into somebody else's journal, you're considered a juror. Okay? This is the jury. Influencing juror by writing, obstruction of proceedings before departments, agencies, and committees, theft or alteration of records or process. Theft or alteration of record or process. Remember I said your yea is your yea, your nay is your nay. And they call it false bail, hyphen, or semicolon, false bail. Let's go back up here to influencing or injuring officer or juror generally. Remember, I've been talking about the military service, and it's a general application. It applies to you generally. So influencing juror by writing, that's the communications. That's the journal. It has to be written. They can take your oral words in court, but they're going to enter it into their journal. Theft or alteration of records or process. False bail. This link I did not put in there, but all you got to do is go down and look at it. The link to the one I just clicked on is in the details, so you can just use that one. Whoever feloniously steals, takes away, alters, falsifies, or otherwise avoids any record, writ, process, or other proceeding, or otherwise avoids any record. You suppose that scripture is the record? Is a record? Under federal rules of evidence, they have Rule 803, exceptions to the rules of hearsay, and they mention ancient documents. So the exception to hearsay is my nay is my yea is my yea, and my nay is my nay. And you can't alter that by saying I can't say that. And in saying that, that's reference to the scripture, which I hold as my holy writs. And in those holy writs, it tells me the process, Matthew 18, verses 15 through 18, or excuse me, 15 through 20. When you make an accusation of your brother, you're supposed to go to him in private. You don't do it in public. That's the process I follow. And you are obstructing that process just by coming to me in public and making your accusation or other proceeding in any court of the United States whereby any judgment is reversed, made void, or does not take effect. Or whoever acknowledges or procures to be acknowledged in any such court, any recognizance, bail, or judgment in the name of any other person not privy or consenting to the same. Not privy or consenting to the same. By making it a public issue, you void and evade the privity, the privacy. You get it? Whoever acknowledges or procures to be acknowledged in any such court, any recognizance, bail, or judgment in the name of any other person, not privy or consenting to the same, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. That's just one charge. Under this, you can charge them with several. So let's go to the next one. And before we do, I want to remind everybody, please hit that share, like, and subscribe button. The StreamYard link is down below for anybody that wants to come join the panel. The next one, 18 U.S. Code 875, Interstate Communications. So interstate is within the state. Communications, as we've described before, is a communication of a debt under 15 U.S.C. 1692A definitions. Communication is a conveyance of a debt. Okay? So anytime they want to communicate with you, they're trying to convey a debt. If they're in their official capacity or their agent capacity, they're communicating with you about a debt. That's all they communicate about is budget. And they're on the clock and they're concerned about their paycheck. That's why they're doing it. That's their intent, is to get a paycheck. So every communication in that capacity is about a debt to them for their time. And they expect you to spend your time with them, consenting to do the same shit. Telling on each other. That sounds like banking transactions. If you're going to be a teller, you know what I mean? Whoever transmits in interstate or foreign commerce any communication containing any demand or request for a ransom or reward for the release of any kidnapped person shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. So take me to jail and kidnap me again alongside the road for some supposed fabricated traffic violation. I play no games. The next one. Theft or alteration of record or process, false bail. Oh, that I did post that one. Okay. My apologies. And while I'm on this, let me remind everybody, this is the one, theft or alteration of record or process. When they come up and ask me for an ID, I tell them, no, I don't have an ID. Well, what's your name? Well, I don't have a name either. Well, what do you mean? Everybody's got a name. No, find a name on me. Find a name on me. However, I will tell you that my mom and dad called me Keith all of my life. I didn't give them a name. See, mom and dad gave me that name. And if you can find it, you can have it. Because it ain't on me. And I can't give it to you. Because to me, it's not a name. It's what they called me all my life. It's a calling. When somebody hollers out Keith, and it's a call to me. And before they utter another sound, they've already called upon the Almighty Spirit of God. Hallowed be thy name. Let's go on to the next one. Communication lines, stations, or systems. Systems. What's your standing in life? Your station, your post. Same thing. What's your system? What do you stem from? See, that's your true communication line. And our communication is in heaven. That's the system that I use to communicate. Like I said, those are my holy writs. The next one. Interception and disclosure of wire, oral, or electronic communications prohibited. Now, it's funny, this comes upon right after Paul got his channel struck for his communications, because somebody else interpreted them in their light and said, you can't do that. See where we're going? You see how important this stuff is when it comes to putting your word out and letting people know what you think? See, you don't have to tell them what you think is true. You just tell them what you think according to what you know through your experiences. They can use that information to discern the truth and validity for themselves. You can't do anything about that. I can explain this stuff to you, but I can't comprehend it for you. So the best I can do in explaining it to you is just tell you my firsthand experiences. I can't make the claim that it's true for you because it's only true for me. And I recognize that it's only true for me because no one else in this life has the same experiences as I do. You can only make what's true in your life true for yourself. You can't do that for everybody else. So the light of the truth is at the end of the tunnel, and you ain't there yet. So you ain't going to know the truth until you get there. Do you get it now? This is all serious stuff, and I want to hope everybody, I want to have faith that everybody that's come in today is paying attention, because you really have to get right with yourself. You really have to know who you're supposed to be communicating with, what you're supposed to be communicating with, how you're supposed to be communicating it, why, where, when. It's all pertinent. It's all they all have their own individual compartmentalized values. And if you're missing one, then you're not holding yourself to your full value. Like Paul says, you're disrespecting yourself. And then you ask me why I disrespect you. You ask Paul why he you're disrespecting your own fucking selves. You have the capabilities of learning this stuff. It's plain language. You got plenty of people out here showing you where it's at and how to interpret it because of the plain language. And if you feel that language is confusing, again, I urge you to go back, unlearn everything you've learned, and relearn it. Concise English Handbook, College Composition Handbook, and the 1611 edition of the King James Version of the Scriptures, which are known today as Public Law 97-280, Law of the Land. If you really want to propose yourself as your yea is your nay, and your yea is your yea, and your nay is your nay on this land, in this world, then you have to bring the words that are in heaven down and through you. You have to let that light shine on them, show them their idiocy. See, on this channel, it's been up for 5 years, and it's been going a long time because it doesn't ever get struck. It's gotten struck here recently because I started going into some other venues of topic, the drama venues. Okay, where people get all up in their bunchy panties and say, well, you can't put out that kind of medical information. Really? It's already out there. Well, you can't pose your opinion about it. You can't argue with it. Really? See where we're going now? See, when they start striking people for putting out information that's already there, what is that? And again, that's why I use that copyright from the Universal Postal Union and their disclaimer. When you read that disclaimer, it's pretty much saying we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. You'll have to do that, make that discernment for yourself. Read it and comprehend. That's basically what it's saying. We don't know what's true. And if you're going to go by this site, we don't know if that site's true. We're just allowing them to pose it. And you have to discern for yourself whether they're putting out is true or not. Read it. What's your name? Yep. What's your name? What's your name, Sergeant? Sergeant! No, I said, what's your name, Sergeant? You just called me Sergeant, Sergeant. Isn't that the name? No, dumbass, that's the title. Well, you can't holler out titles in an oral speak, can you? That would be cause for confusion. It would need to be written down to discern whether it's a name or a title. You get me now? That ain't my name. That's a title. Look at that fucking driver's license and tell me that's a fucking name, and then convince me that I'm holding a name. Even if I've got that fucking thing in my pocket, I ain't got a name. That's a fucking title, you dumbass. So yeah, this guy's crazy. Lieutenant. You mean I'm a tenant in lieu of? Sergeant? Are you trying to displace me? Are you trying to disposition me? Are you trying to change my station in life? See, your rhetoric doesn't work on somebody that knows what they are. See, I'm not a who. Even if you want to call out a name, I'm still not a who. I'm a what? I'm a verb, and every breath I take is an act of God. And every breath I take as an act of God is an act of love, and I love you all. But I don't give a fuck whether you love me back or not. So learn how to get it right and learn how to deal with yourself. Because that's the true problem. That's the true problem. Yourself. No one else. And no one else can fix it. Anyway, with that, let me double check here. Make sure you hit the share, like, and subscribe button, folks. Since nobody wants to join on panel again, which is fine by me. It makes sure for shorter videos that people will be more apt to watch and comprehend. So again, love y'all. God bless. Have a great day.